Hello everyone and welcome to our presentation. Our client is going to be a Swedish company called Eco Oil. Our consulting team consists of 5 members: Luis Manuel, Peyu, Hannah, Yusi, and Yuan David. So here is the table of content for our presentation where we have 9 points that we're going to discuss and we're going to talk about them in more details. In location advantages, we suggest that you choose the niches with a strong ecosystem that supports your type of business. You should consider whether the ecosystem has a big enough market and whether shipping the container to customers is far. Bringing a new technology into the market is usually hard in the beginning. So in internalization advantages, we suggest that you build hybrid modes which have joint venture and partnership to reduce the difficulties of entering the market. As for the time frame, we start from identifying customer and value proposition. Then, establishing the channels. We want your company to have a relationship with your customers. Next, deciding the revenue streams. And finally, constructing a network with key resources, key partners, and key activities. And now we're going to introduce the business model canvas. In customer segments, we suggest that you target gas station companies because the ideal goal is replacing most of the traditional fuel, which is harmful to the environment, with renewable fuel. The second is green consumer. Generally, the green consumer can be an individual, an organization, and or a company that is concerned about environmental issues or interested in renewable fuel. For value propositions, we have carbon neutral fuel, fuels from renewable resources, byproduct, technology patent, and helping customers reduce carbon emission and reaching sustainability. The 2 main channels should have a direct sale. Our own channels as webpage and sales representatives gives the opportunity to have a broader catalog, and the retail gives the opportunity to reach the personal and corporative client. In customer relationships, we propose you create a global sales department in charge of marketing and sales globally. You could develop a personal assistant to maintain the relationship whether by phone call, email, or virtual meeting. With sufficient human communication, the customer experience can be leveraged. The other relationship is co-creation. It's important for you to keep updating the situation of the containers from customers because this information can help you design or improve the product. Also, you can really know how much improvement the customers made for the environment. You can obtain profits from 3 different formats: in alliance with companies lending our endless commercial technology, energy branding, and through brokers, we can ensure your international distribution. The cost structure here presented corresponds to the delivery, installation, and operational costs for 1 year. In year 5, you will produce more than 1,000 containerized production units. An economy of scale of 10 is applied, and the technology production cost will decrease 10 times. All these costs will be covered by your joint venture partners and the revenues will be splitted. Last but not least, the key activities, key partners, and key resources will be also discussed later on in our service ecosystem suggestion. As for the firm-specific advantages, when buying your container, one needs to consider whether the space is big enough, whether the place has enough biomass, whether deploying your container is more economical than the original way, and whether the place has electricity. Therefore, you should play the consultant role here. You have to analyze the place where the customer wants to put their product, you have to organize the whole container project, and by consultation, not only can you help your customers, but also you can have more understanding about the market and environment, therefore you can increase value for your customers. Basically, any country that has logistic companies are potential locations. According to statistics, the biggest areas of consumption as well as sources or raw materials are USA, EU, China, India, and Brazil. Major logistic companies are located all over the world, so whichever company is your partner, you will operate globally. Other customer segments, such as gas stations, are located near traffic hubs, and the biggest volumes of consumption is near metropolitan areas and cities. Since your customer segments are global, thus your company will be also global. Normally, the industry will be located in traffic hub near the highways where there are a lot of fuel consumers. According to the key resources, partners, activities in the business model canvas, we construct the service ecosystem with a micro-level perspective. 2 customers we would advise you to target are gas station company and green consumer. We recommend you internalize the marketing section, and you could build a global operating team within the firm, which is basically in charge of operating the container remotely and collecting the data of using containers. The R&D will also be suggested to be kept within the firm. Regarding the key resources, we advise you to choose a supplier who produces ethanol from renewable material. This could decrease the risk and lower the cost. Since the government mainly controls and regulates the energy or fuel in most countries, a little promotion of containers is very essential. As you can see from the table here, for years 1 and 3, we are projecting revenues of about 9.5%, while for year 5, the revenue will be 14.5%. These financial projections are before taxes. As a result, our assumptions are 0.05% of market share in the first year, 0.5% for the third year, and 3% for the fifth year in the States. Your fuel price is 17% more expensive than the current average price for gasoline in the States. Green consumers are eager to pay more for carbon neutral fuel as they already pay more for an organic product in the supermarket. The container shipping. The reference route will be from Rotterdam to Shanghai. Moving on, we propose a strategy transformation over time based on different type and size of a company. This strategy must follow a gradual organic growth and will always aim to exploit the green consumer niche. Now let's talk about the organizational structure. As for the initial stage, the company should be ruled under a lean startup model, which allows the company to focus on what is important: growth, innovation, and customer satisfaction. As for the mid stages, you should address organizational modifications that enables an even more rapid growth in order to reach an economy of scale for the production. CFO and COO roles are needed to formulate and monitor strategies. And as for the long-term objectives is important in areas such as finance and operations. This way, when your company becomes global, after year 5, new organizational structures should arise in order to reinforce operations such as international company who cares about the social issues and its relationship with all the stakeholders. And finally, for our summary and proposal, EcoOil possesses strong firm-specific advantages based on its patent technology for producing fuel. The business model canvas for your company has its foundations and the creation of joint ventures with fuel retailers around the world. The evolution of your company aims to develop and exploit the green consumer's niche globally. Here are our resources, and thank you for watching.